What's up, YouTubers? This is Matador coming at you with another World of Warcraft Classic video. Today we're focused on 40-man raiding talents for the Warlock DPS class. Well, there are a lot of different ways that you can spec Warlocks. Today we're going to focus on 3 specific ones. Let's talk about the Affliction and Destruction hybrid spec. The point of this is to go down to SM, which is Shadow Mastery. Then you're going to go down the destruction tree and get to Ruin. This makes your shadow damage just increase by a tremendous amount. So let's get started. With the Affliction tree, you're going to put 5 points in Improved Corruption, because this is the one dot that really gets allowed on the boss. Since in Vanilla and Classic there was a 16 debuff slot maximum on bosses, Warlocks were afforded the ability to put Corruption up on the boss. We're going to put 3 points in Suppression, because 6% chance of resistance is all you need in reduction for your Affliction spells to hit the boss. You'll put 2 points in Improved Life Tap, so you're not life tapping as often, which saves your little cooldowns. You're going to put 5 points in Fell Concentration to make sure that you're not interrupted when you're channeling Drain Life. You're going to put 2 points in Grim Reach so you can stand back as far as possible and cast your Affliction spells. You're also going to put 2 points in Nightfall, which allows a chance for you to enter Shadow Trance, which will make your Shadow Bolt instant cast, which is awesome. Now you're in a position where you need to get down to Siphon Life, and then you further need to get down to Shadow Mastery. So the next 3 points are entirely up to you what you want to do with them. However, I will recommend that you go down the Amplify Curse and Curse of Exhaustion track, because if you're going this deep into Affliction, your raid leader might suggest that you have these things so that you can kite around specific ads like on the Razor Gore fight or some others. So Siphon Life is just a means to an end. You're not going to keep it up on the boss. However, it is convenient when you're out soloing. Now you're going to put all 5 points in Shadow Mastery, which increases the damage dealt or life drained by your shadow spells by 10%, which is a big buff. You're not going to take Dark Pact. You're going to instead make sure you have 21 points so you can get to Ruin. So let's go down the standard Ruin track in Destruction. You'll put 5 points in Improved Shadow Bolt, which increases shadow damage dealt to the target. This is awesome, especially because you have Nightfall, which means you'll occasionally be proccing instant cast Shadow Bolts on top of your spammed Shadow Bolts, which can go faster by putting 5 points in Bane, which decreases the cast time of Shadow Bolt by 0.5 seconds. You'll put 5 points into a Critical Strike chance, which is pretty much a no-brainer. You will also put 1 point in Shadow Burn, which is more convenience than anything. You'll put 2 points in Destructive Reach so that you can stand at range with the same range as Affliction and with Destruction spells. You'll also put 2 points in Intensity for whenever you're AoEing not to get interrupted. And then we put our final point in Ruin. This is a devastating spec. Let's talk about the Affliction and Demonology hybrid spec for Warlocks. This spec is all about getting down to Nightfall in the Affliction tree, which allows you to instant cast Shadow Bolts on occasion, and getting all the way down to Soul Leak, which is a survival technique where your demon takes some of the damage that you are taking. It's a nice way to survive and do decent damage. So let's start with Affliction. You're going to put 5 points in Improved Corruption, because Corruption is the one dot that everyone agrees on that can be cast on the boss. Since the bosses have a 16 slot debuff limit, the Warlocks are giving privilege over any other classes to put up this dot, because it does a lot of damage. And it procs Nightfall. You'll put 3 points into Suppression to reduce chance for resistance by 6%. You'll put 2 points in Improved Life Tap, which allows you to get more mana back when you life tap, so you don't have to do it as often. You'll put 5 points in Fel Concentration, which allows you to avoid interruption when you're draining life, which again, this spec is about survivability, so that's helpful. You'll put 2 points in Increased Range of Affliction so you can stand at max range, and you'll finally put the 2 points in Nightfall, which allows your spells a chance for you to instant cast your next Shadow Bolt. Now let's move over to Demonology. You'll start by putting 2 points in Improved Healthstone. You're going to be handing out Healthstones like candy to the raid, so it's great for it to restore the most health possible. You're also going to put 3 points in Improved Imp. Imp is never going to be used for DPS because it casts Fireball, and most things in MC and even BWL are immune to fire, so there's no reason for that. However, Imps have Blood Pact, which there's always a Warlock in the main tank group, so that Blood Pact is active, which increases their stamina. So if you go Improved Imp, it's helpful to the raid because you might be chosen to be that Warlock that is glorified by standing in the main tank group with their Imp. Otherwise, you're going to have your Fel Hunter out when you're doing damage. You'll put 5 points in Demonic Embrace, which increases your total stamina. Next, you'll put 5 points in Fel Stamina to make sure that your demon will survive. You'll also put 5 points in Unholy Power for when you have the Fel Hunter out, they can be doing 20% more damage with their attacks. You're going to put 1 point in Fel Domination, which allows you a quick cast of a demon in case they die. And you'll put 2 points in Master Summoner in case this happens more than in a 15-minute period, which is the cooldown on Fel Domination. You can get another quick cast to bring your Fel Hunter or Imp back if something happens to them. You'll put 1 point in Demonic Sacrifice, which permits you to get down to Soul Link. However, you're not really going to be sacrificing your demons unless there's a reason to, just in circumstance. Now you're in a situation where you need to get down to Master Demonologist, so you have to put points somewhere. It doesn't particularly matter where, however, I'm going to recommend you put 2 points in Improved Health Funnel. This will allow you to help your demons survive by transferring some of your health to them when they're in a bad spot. Then we'll put 5 points in Master Demonologist. This allows whatever demon you have out to grant you a special effect. If you're using the Imp, you have 20% reduced threat, which is awesome. You can go balls to the walls DPS and not worry about it. And if you have the Fel Hunter out, you get 60 resistances to all magic, which means that you can wear more DPS gear and not have to wear resist gear for fire bosses or nature bosses. And the last point we'll put in Soul Link for survivability purposes. And this is the Nightfall Soul Link spec. Let's check out the Demonology and Destruction hybrid spec. This spec is all about getting down to Demonic Sacrifice, but you'll also go into points in Master Demonologist, so you can either sacrifice your Succubus, and so you can have 15% increased shadow damage at all times for Shadow Bolt spamming, or you can roll with a Fel Hunter if you need 60 resistances on a fire resist type boss fight, or you can even have your Imp out so you can have improved Imp situation for the main tank. You'll start by putting 2 points in Improved Healthstone. Since your raid's going to be popping Healthstones like candy, it's nice to give them that extra health boost. You'll put 3 points in Improved Imp because of the Blood Pact spell, which you'll be positioned in the main tank group so that Blood Pact will give the tanks more stamina. If you're not going to be in the main tank group, then you won't be rolling Imp at all. Instead, you'll either be rolling Fel Hunter for DPS or sacrificing your Succubus for additional shadow damage. You'll put 5 points in Demonic Embrace, which increases your total stamina, which is a flat health increase, which is helpful in many ways. You'll put 5 points in Fel Stamina to make sure that if you do have a demon out, they're able to survive. You'll put 1 point in Fel Domination, which allows for a quick cast summoning of a demon when they die or you need one for some reason. You'll do the same thing for Master Summoner, which in case Spell Domination is on cooldown, which is a long 15-minute cooldown, you'll still be able to summon your demon at a minimum mana cost and cast time. You're going to put 5 points in Unholy Power, which in case you have the Fel Counter out, they'll be doing additional damage. You'll put 1 point in Demonic Sacrifice, which allows the sacrifice of the Succubus, which is really the main focus of this talent setup. Then you're in a position where you need 1 talent point to get down to Master Demonologist, at which point I just recommend putting 1 point in Improved Health Funnel, so if you do have a demon out, you can help them survive. Then you'll put all 5 points in Master Demonologist, which allows you the freedom to use demons or sacrifice. Now we'll move over to Destruction and make sure that we get down to the Ruin talent. You'll put 5 points in Improved Shadow Bolt, which increases the damage applied to the boss, and 5 points in Bane, which reduces the cast time of Shadow Bolt. You'll put 5 points in Devastation, which increases the crit strike chance of destruction spells by 5%, and Shadow Bolt counts as a destruction spell. You'll put 1 point in Shadow Burn because it's a cool ability, and you'll put 2 points in Destructive Reach so you can stand at max range to cast your Shadow Bolts. You'll also put 2 points in Intensity for when you are casting AoE abilities you don't want to get interrupted. And you'll put your final point in Ruin, which increases the crit strike damage bonus of your destruction spells by 100%. This is the Demonology and Destruction talent tree spec. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope you appreciated it. If you did, leave a like or subscribe or comment down below so I know you want more WoW Classic videos.